Your group, please tell me the name of your play.
Flying High.
Flying High. Okay. You may begin.
Once a man named Daedalus lived in Athens. The Greek city whose protector was Athena, the goddess of wisdom. One day Daedalus was making a statue of Athena, and the goddess liked it so much she decided to give him special powers. Thanks to her, he became Athens' top inventor and builder. Everyone admired his cleverness in making gadgets and his ability to solve problems that he baffled people for years. Even Agis, the king of Athens at the time, counted on Daedalus for advice about new buildings and special projects.
But it wasn't enough for Daedalus to be the greatest inventor in Athens. He wanted to be the only inventor in Athens. He couldn't stand anyone else getting recognition. The greatest inventor even became worried that his own nephew was apprentice would steal from his glory.
In Athens, Daedalus' reputation as a wise man and clever inventor was growing. He soaked up praise from others, especially his family members. Who would have thought it? If I hate to admit it, after all those fights we had as kids, but my own brother's a genius.
Sister, you look like you ate something that didn't agree with you.
No, brother, it's not my lunch. I just remembering that mother always spoiled you, and Athena sharpened your brain like a pencil. Some people get all the love.
Now, don't get upset. Just because I'm famous and you're not, my ideas will help our whole city. And if you can ever do that, if I can ever do you a favor, please let me know.
I was hoping you'd say that. My son Talos loves to build things around the house. He built a doghouse that's so comfortable. The dog refuses to come out. Then he made a mousetrap that's so attractive. Mice have been lining up to try it out. Please take him as your apprentice, teach him something useful, and keep him out of my hair.
I don't really need anyone right now.
He'll work for free. You must need someone to clean up around here. Someone to take out the garbage. Surely Athena didn't give you special talent for that.
All right. Having a kid like him around will allow me more time for my important work. He can start tomorrow, but he must remember that I'm very busy with very important people, so he needs to stay out of my way.
So Talos, a youth about 12-year-old, came to stay with his uncle. At first, he quietly went about his chores in the inventor shop. He cleaned up the tools, washed all the dishes, and took the rubbish.
One day, Athena came to the shop to ask Daedalus' help. Talos was sweeping up in the corner.
I need a tool that can cut through wood quickly and neatly. Chopping wood with an axe is too messy and takes too long. Can you help?
Maybe if you use a bigger axe or a spear. Let me think about it. Come back in a day or two and I'll have something for you.
When the men left, Talos spoke up.
Uncle, look at this drawing I made. It's a plan for a tool I call a saw. It will cut through wood more easily than an axe.
How does it work?
See these sharp parts here that looks like a teeth? They cut right through the wood when you move the teeth back and forth across the wood. I came up with the idea one day when I was emptying the garbage. I saw a fish skeleton and it made me think.
Didn't I tell you not to disturb my thinking? Give me that silly drawing and go back to your chores.
But Daedalus didn't throw away the silly drawing. He used Talos' idea to make a saw out of metal. Then he brought it to the carpenter.
Oh. How do you think of this saw, as you call it? You're very clever.
It just came to me one night as I was taking out the garbage.
Daedalus took all the credit, but Talos wasn't discouraged. He felt that someday his uncle would recognize his talent.
Look what I made, Uncle. I call it a compass. You can use it to draw perfect diagrams and measure things exactly.
Give me that and stop fooling around. You've got work to do. I've got to do something about this board before I become the second best inventor in Athens.
That night, Daedalus couldn't sleep. He was so angry and jealous. Finally thought of a plan that made him feel better. He jumped out of bed and rushed over to Talos' room.
I was too harsh with you today. Forgive me. Come with me now, though I'd like you to help me on the project right now. It's very important. On the top of the famous temple. I could use your advice.
Wow, that would be great. But way up there, right now in the middle of the night, and it's so dark.
This shouldn't take long.
When they got to the roof of the temple, Daedalus carried out a legal plot.
I've been asked to build a statue for that side of the tower. Lean over the edge and tell me what you think.
Well, it's really dangerous if you say so.
As Talos leaned over, Daedalus gave him a swift push, which sent the yoke hurtling toward the paving stones. But before he hit the ground, he quickly flapped his arm and gracefully began to move skyward.
You see Athena had watched the plot unfold in spectrum. In a flash, she turned the Talos into a bird, a partridge to be exact, and so spared his life. Then she had a few words with her former favorite.
You are a very sick man, Daedalus. I am tempted to take back all the powers I've given you, but I won't. Instead, I'm going to banish you from Athens. You must wander through the world, praying that someone will take you in. Fate will have other punishments for you.
Dallas wandered about, sailing from country to country until he came to the island of Crete, where the evil king Minos was looking for a great adventure. Dallas was hired on the spot, and he soon settled down. They married and had a son. The boy's name was Icarus, and Dallas loved him very, very much.
Now after years of working for Minos, Daedalus was given the job of designing the labyrinth that would house the Minos' meanest pet, the Minotaur. But when Theseus escaped from the labyrinth, taking Minos' daughter, Raiden, with him, someone was going to have to take heat from Minos. That person was Daedalus.
Guards, bring the inventor to me.
The palace guards brought Daedalus, his hands bound behind him. A few steps behind the inventor, also bound, stood his son Icarus.
What should I do with you? Theseus killed the Minotaur and escaped from the labyrinth. Only you could have helped him do that. That makes matters worse. He's run off with dear Adrian.
Should we execute them now, Your Highness?
No, I just thought of a fit punishment. Take the adventurers and his son to the center of the maze and leave him there. Without food or water, and let the adventurer be trapped by his own invention.
Daedalus' faith began to master terror. When he had made the labyrinth, even he got lost in the maze unless he had his master plans with him.
I have one request, Your Highness. My son is afraid of the dark. Can we please have a supply of candles to take with us, so at least his last hours will be a little less frightening?
Very well, have your candles. That way you'll be able to see each other's stars.
Dallas and Icarus were blindfolded, brought to the center of the maze, and set free. The guards retraced their steps, keeping the inventor and his son in their place by threatening them with arrows and spears.
Father, what will we do? I'm already hungry. You must take us somewhere out of this.
Speaking as fast as I can, son. But even if we escape from the maze, Minos' army will catch us. If we make it to the sea, the king's navy will capture our ship before we're a mile from shore.
Daedalus stayed awake all that night. He had just about given up when the chirping birds signaled that the sun was about to rise.
You would have to be a bird to escape from Minos. That's it. Wake up, my son. We've got work to do.
What on earth? Have you gone crazy?
Just listen to me. Remember those bird calls I taught you? Use them now. Call down as many birds as you can. Quickly.
Icarus made sounds that imitated the call of blackbirds, seagulls, and other birds. Hearing the calls, the birds swooped down toward the inventor and his son in the maze. The two quickly snatched as many feathers as they could. The lucky birds lost only a few feathers each.
Now to use the wax from the candles, you hold the feathers like this.
Father, please tell me what you're making.
I'm making wings. With these feathers and wax, I'm making wings that will carry us out of this maze and away from the sun. Minos may control the land and the sea, but he doesn't rule the sky. We'll fly away.
In just a day, Daedalus made a set of wings for himself and his son. They practiced with the wings until they knew they could fly.
Before we go, pay attention to my words, Icarus. Fly right behind me. Do you hear? Don't fly too low, or the spray from the sea will wipe your wings and pull you down. But don't fly too high either. If you fly too close to the sun, the wax that keeps the wings together will melt and fall into the sea.
Father, I promise I will obey you.
The two set out at the break of day. They flapped around the walls of the labyrinth and out over Minos' king. The people below didn't know what to think about what they saw in the early morning sky.
That's the strangest pair of birds I've ever seen.
Well, it must be two gods visiting Earth.
I think I'd better go back to sleep.
Once they were away from Minos' island, Daedalus and his son moved and shouted.
We're free as birds.
Just remember what I told you. Be careful.
If you skirt the flying stars, look at this diamond can do. Look how high I can go.
This is no time for fooling around, son. Stay close behind me. We've got to get to land as soon as we can.
When his father's back was turned, Icarus spread his wings and soared as high as he could. He felt the rays of the sun warming his body. He let the currents of air take him even higher, just as a tide will sometimes carry a swimmer deeper and deeper.
I'll catch up with my father in a second after being in that cold diamond. It's great to be flying. The sun feels so good.
But something began to go terribly wrong. Icarus' wings began to get heavier and heavier. He started to feel the melting wax warming his arms. When the boy turned to look to see what was happening, he saw a feather drop from his wings. Now he remembered what his father said.
Oh no, Father, help me.
But the boy was far behind and his voice could not reach his father's ear.
Before long, hundreds of feathers were falling from the wings, and Icarus was dropping fast to the blue sea below. He waved his arms frantically, but it did no good.
Flying ahead, Daedalus was lost in sight.
Now, if I can only build wings for an entire army, that would be something. We could fly back to Crete and surprise Minos. I could be king. Icarus, how long do you think it will take me to?
Turning around, he saw that he was alone in a beautiful cloudy sky. His heart pounded and circled back, and he circled back. Then saw what he feared the most, Icarus floating lifeless in the sea.
Daedalus landed on the first island he saw and convinced the fisherman there to bring back the body of his son. He buried Icarus on that island.
As he said goodbye to his son, he noticed a bird sitting on the branch of a tree, overlooking the grave. It was a partridge, the kind of bird his nephew Talos had become. When Daedalus pushed him off the temple of Athena so many years before, at last Daedalus understood how wrong and cruel that plan had been. Now that his own son's life had been taken from him,
For the rest of his life, it is said, Daedalus lived quiet on the island of Sicily, making toys for the children there. He easily could have won fame and fortune if he had built on flying ideas, but the death of his son caused inventor to hang up his wings and his desire for fame forever.
Yay. All right, puppets, take a bow. Puppets, take a bow.
Except for the one right there instead.
Wait, do we do it with the puppets?
Yeah, do the puppets first, and I'll have everybody else. Puppets, take a bow. Yay. Puppets, good job, puppets. Yeah. All right, actors, our puppeteers and narrators, come take a bow. Everybody stand up back there. And narrators, come in. Everybody get in behind the tables. Come in, move in. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, take a bow. Yay! Good job. All right. Thank you, guys.